Hi and welcome to this week's Life Lessons teaching. It's great to be back with you all. This week is part 4 of our Law of Attraction mini-series, and I'm here again with David, who is a Taoist monk, Law of Attraction coach and therapist, and David is going to be sharing his ancient Taoist wisdom on how you can make the Law of Attraction work for you. Now this week we're talking all about the Wu Wei wisdom approach to karma and what is the relationship between the law of attraction and karma. Okay, David, so what is karma?
Well, I think it's a great question to start with. What does karma mean to you? Are you going to kind of a Buddhist or a Hindu teaching of past lives? So that's not particularly aligned with Taoism and certainly not aligned with the Wu Wei wisdom. So it goes back to the Wu Wei wisdom teaching about using your words. Always take care when you use a word as powerful as karma. Make sure you know what it means, because if you're relating back to former lives, that's a massive teaching that you've got to kind of chew up and swallow about what do you believe about former lives, what do you believe the energy moves forward into this life. For a Taoist, karma is not a word we would use often, but it is used. But it's meant differently to the Buddhist and the Hindu way of using it.
So what does it mean when you use it in the Wu Wei wisdom approach, or what do Taoists mean?
Well, it's what we've been saying through all the videos, cause and effect. What do you think now? Taking self-responsibility for your life now, looking deeply and meaningful at what you believe and why you believe it. Don't I say that on all the videos? If you ever really thought about it, those core beliefs that we examine when we do the golden thread, remember we started the emotions, why, and we go down to a belief and then interrogate that belief. And this is why I find when I work so closely and intimately with my clients, it's not even their belief. They had come down to one of the 3 lies. I'm not good enough. I can't cope. I'm unlovable or I'm unworthy. And you say, well, where did that come from? And they go, I don't know. I don't know where it came from. And I say, well, why would you think something like that? I don't know. And if you say something like that to yourself, I don't know, you're not taking responsibility. And that really hits at what I would think karma is. What do you believe? Why do you believe it? Where does that belief come from? Where's the authority you got that belief from?
So is karma then, when you talk about cause and effect, if what you're saying is the belief or the thought is the cause and karma is almost like the after effect. So when you believe something or when you think something, which could be based on one of those 3 lies you've talked about, I'm not good enough, I'm unlovable, I can't cope or manage. The cause is the thinking or the belief and the effect is the karma.
Exactly. So, I'm going to ask it again. If you have one of those 3 lies, or kind of a derivative of those 3 lies, remember what they are. I'm not good enough. I can't cope or I can't manage. I'm unlovable or I'm unworthy. So after doing this job for 45 years, I find that those are kind of the core 3 lies we say to ourselves. And I often say on these videos, and I'm going to say it again, if you believe that to be true, then give me the evidence. Where did it come from? What makes it true? Because you didn't come out of the womb believing you're not good enough. That's quite simply, you wouldn't have got out the womb. So what then people write in and say, I'll tell you the reason. And then they give me the result of thinking they're not good enough.
And so
what happens?
So the result, is that the karma?
That's the karma.
Okay.
Now, I wouldn't call it karma simply because of the confusion we're looking at.
If we use this cause and effect principle, what you're saying is the thought and the belief, which could be authentic or inauthentic,
yes,
that then has an equal and opposite reaction or an effect in reality.
Yes.
And that's the what people use as the evidence to prove that they're not good enough, they're not lovable, they can't cope.
And there goes a carousel of despair, because now they say, well, I'll give you the evidence I'm not good enough, and they'll give me the evidence. I go, well, that's not the evidence why you're not good enough. That's the evidence of believing you're not good enough. That's what happens. And that reinforces, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so the core belief, I'm not good enough, or I can't cope, or I'm unlovable, actually gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then you do not question it. And now this series is about the law of attraction. That then affects the law of attraction. If you believe you're not good enough, every situation that you enter into, you're going in with that filter, that perception that you're not good enough. Really cheap. Don't just accept you're not good enough. Take it apart and look at where that came from.
So if we go into a situation, as you said, with one of these three lies, believing that we're not good enough, believing that we're unlovable, then the cause and effect dynamic law of karma, whatever you want to call it, is at play. I want to drill down a little bit more and understand how it affects the law of attraction. Is it related to our energy vibration, that our thoughts and beliefs create an energy vibration, and that's where the law of attraction comes in?
Yes, it does, because what you're doing then, when circumstances happen in your life, by the law of familiarity, is another law, you tend to go to what's familiar. So even if it doesn't work, so you'll choose a life partner, you'll choose a career, you choose to do something that, even though in your Shen, in your deep knowing and understanding, you know it's wrong, you know it's going against, and it's unbalanced, and it's going against your natural flow that we spoke about in the other videos, what you'll do is you'll choose that option. And when I ask my clients why they choose that option, they'll say things like, it's easier. Now, have you ever said that to yourself? I know it's wrong, but it's easier. And I really drill down on them. It can't be easier. It cannot be easier, because look at the pain and the discomfort and the heartache that it gives to you. How can you sit there and tell me it can be easier? What you're saying, it's more familiar. I know how this pans out. I don't agree with how it pans out, but I know how it pans out. Then this is the law of attraction. And then that completes the carousel, because there you go. Oh, look, that proves I'm not good enough. There you are. I failed at another job. I got made redundant again. This is the third time I've got made redundant. I'm just using that as a for instance. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, which then you use to strengthen the lie. And this is what you call karma. Oh, it's my karma. Oh, it must be something. No, no, no. It's what you're creating. And that's why you have to be careful with the word karma. Really sit and investigate what you mean by karma.
And in a way, from what I'm hearing you say there, David, it's very much like, if we're not careful, we can use the term or the concept of karma to absolve ourselves from responsibility and say, well, there you are, it's the universe getting me back, it's that cosmic score sheet. But actually you're saying the law of attraction in the example you gave is that we set up the event through our thoughts and beliefs. We set up the filtering system. We then are drawn ourselves to the familiar, which then that means we get back more of what we expect. And so
lovely phrase. We get back more of what we accept.
Yeah, so it's
law of attraction.
It's not like this magical mystery universal score sheet or universe getting you back, or it's actually us setting up our mindset then, which then affects our actions, our expectations, our filter system of how we perceive the world, what we think is familiar, unfamiliar, comfortable, uncomfortable.
I I couldn't say anything more, because that's exactly what happens. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what Alex said at the beginning, it absolves you from responsibility. You can hold up your hand, slap your forehead and go, there you are, look, it's always against me. Poor me. Let me get the violin out. Let me play a tune. Let me tell you how bad this is. Let me explain to you my emotions, instead of taking the responsibility. This is the Wu Wei wisdom that I want to pass on to you. The wisdom is take full self-responsibility for you and your life direction. Now, I understand and accept fully understand and accept that there will be twists and turns on this journey of life, on this river flowing down. There will be great boulders on this river. But you know what? You will get through them. And how do I know that? What's my evidence? What's your evidence, David, that I will get through those? Because you always have done. You always have done. Look back on your life. You've always got through them. What we're talking about and trying to encourage you is to flourish, is to flow, is to do it with ease, to do it authentically, to do it in your Wu Wei. Remember, that's one of the translations of Wu Wei. Effortless effort. So when you hit the biggest boulder in your course of your river, you can flow round it effortlessly, as though it was never really there. You dust yourself off. We say, get back on the bike and start pedaling. And start pedaling. Now, can I guarantee you there won't be other boulders farther down? No, I can't. I can't. But what I will tell you is the better you become of dealing with it, the less they interfere with your life. It's almost like, instead of being a big boulder, it's a little pebble in your shoe, and you just get through it very easily. And that's why this word karma that we're focusing on today, really sit down. I'd really encourage you to sit down and say, what do I mean by karma? What is my definition of karma?
I mean, David, a lot of people, when they talk about karma, they talk about it in the context of if someone has wronged them or someone done a bad thing against them, an injustice, that somehow the universe will pay that person back. So what I want to know is, if we wrong someone, if we do something bad against someone, if we try to get revenge on someone, if we're mean-spirited against someone, how does the law of attraction or karma actually work in relation to that?
Well, you've used a lot of words there, a lot of adjectives, so you've got to kind of put it down. If you purposely try and hurt someone, if you screw them over, if you do something that you know is wrong, you know it's wrong, but you still do it. Now, you may justify it to yourself, but this is why teaching of Shen, and we've done lots of videos on the teaching of Shen, that quieter inner voice, that quieter knowing, that thing that who you really are. So if you go against that and you think, I'm going to screw them down, I'm going to really put my foot on, I'm going to stamp on them, guess who suffers the most? You do. Because now you are creating a unbalancing in your energy. You're now having to be someone that you really are not. And that affects your law of attraction, your karma, your cause of effect. And you use one thing about revenge. So if you say, I'm going to get my own back on them. How dare they treat me like that? I'm going to make them pay. You know the trouble with making someone pay? You have to keep on collecting the installments. Think about that. Making someone pay means you're always connected to that energy. You're always connected to them, to what they did, to how can they pay you back? What do they pay you back? Instead of saying, you know what? Let's focus on my life. Let me take responsibility on my life. Don't spend your time going around collecting installments, because then that defines you. And this is the key to spirituality. This is the key to Taoism. What is it that defines you? How do you want to define you? Do not define yourself on what other people treat to you. Define yourself on how you treat yourself. All the videos we've been doing in this series, the self-love, creating the feeling of love, doing all of the stuff that we've been doing. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that looks in the mirror and you see past your skin and bones and you see the divineness of your Shen energy. And that's the one that you have to be connected to flourish.
So what you're saying is, even if we can justify it to ourselves, that it's appropriate to seek revenge, be mean-spirited, to judge someone really harshly, to be angry with someone, that deep down, that is not our authentic spiritual way, and that doing that, yes, it may have a surface level impact on the person who you're directing it to, but it has a deeper fun, you're saying a much more deeper energetic impact on us in terms of our energy and the law of attraction.
A fundamental, really spiritual, you use the word of anger. If you're really angry with somebody, resentful for somebody, you know what? They probably don't even know. The only one that's hurting is you. As I always say in these videos, it's like drinking poison and expecting them to suffer. The only one that's going to suffer is you. The only one, if you're holding resentment from childhood traumas to childhood incidences, whatever you want to call them, the only one that's going to suffer is you. And then one of my clients said just last week, well, if I don't believe in forgiveness, I believe in acceptance. If I forgive them, David, they're getting away with it scot-free. And I go, so what? Well, I've got to make them pay. She said, I've got to make them pay. I've got to make them understand. They'll never understand. They'll never understand. And all that energy, instead of focusing on your life journey, instead of flourishing on what you want to do, you're going in a totally different direction. In fact, you're mirroring their energy that you didn't enjoy. You are just becoming part of, they've dragged you into their kind of cesspit, their pool. Instead of walking your path, walking with Tao by your side, walking authentically, walking truthfully, honoring yourself, honoring your spirit. No. You're making a choice. You're saying, no, I'm going to go down this cesspit. I'm going to go down there because I want them to know. I want them to pay. And I say to my clients, even if they have like a thunderbolt hit their head, a lightning strike, and it sorts out their thinking, and they go, oh my goodness, wasn't I terrible to you? Shouldn't I have done that? And they come to you and they get on their knees and they kiss your feet and they're saying, please forgive me, please forgive me. Nothing in your life changes because they can't change your life. You control your life. And this goes back to karma. If you're going down that cesspit, here's the law of attraction. Guess what you're going to smell like? Cesspit smell. And that's where you're going to go. And I'd prefer you to walk your path.
I want to pick you up on something you said, or that client said to you, is, does that other person, you're saying, accept what happened? Doesn't mean it's right.
Nope.
Just accept, rather than try to retaliate, rather than try to even the score, rather than try and get revenge or to keep angry with them, because I understand that's dragging you down to their level.
Yes.
But does that person actually get away scot-free in terms of the law of attraction and universal energy? Does that person who did something which was inauthentic, inappropriate, wrong, do they actually get away scot-free?
Great answer. And I'm going to tell you what I said to the client. She asked me a similar question. I said, I've got two answers for you. One, I don't care. I haven't got the faintest care of what their life is about because I do not agree with their life. I'm not interested. That's what they chose to do to me, either as a child or whatever. And I'm just not interested, because you know what I am interested in? My life. Because I came through that. My second answer is, I do believe in the power of the Tao. So sooner or later, I do believe that they will have their own comeuppance, their own ego, their own karma, their own whatever it is. But you know what? It's not my business. And here comes back to what I say in lots of videos. What other people think about me is none of my business, because they're walking their path. I don't know what their path is going to bring them. Good luck to them, because I do not want to walk that path.
Yeah.
I want to walk my path. So that's what I said to my client.
And I think from what you said, it's almost like having a deep understanding and appreciation that their journey is not your journey.
Exactly.
And you no longer need to be part of their journey. And by trying to take revenge, holding on to anger, trying to right the wrong, being mean-spirited or critical about them after the event, it serves you no purpose on your journey.
Absolutely, Alex. After 45 years of working with clients, this is what I notice the most. Some of my clients have come through horrific childhood experiences and early teenage years and perhaps marriage experiences. Horrific. I mean, sometimes the stories are almost unbelievable. But you know what I see a lot of the time with my clients? They treat themselves much worse than they've ever been treated. Is this you? And I say, stop it. And people write in and say, how do I stop it? How do I stop treating myself so badly? And I always write back, and so I'm going to say it on this video, why are you doing it? Because treating yourself badly is a choice that you're making now. And then by whatever you want to call it, cause and effect, karma, the carousel of despair, law of attraction, it's the same thing. If you keep on treating yourself so badly, worse than you were treated by other people, then the filter will work, and then you'll attract the same back into your life.
And so by treating ourselves badly in this context, that could mean holding on to anger.
Absolutely.
It could be seeking revenge. It could be holding on to injustices.
Yes.
That is the self-harm we're talking about here in this context, and that it's about this acceptance you talked about.
It is. Unfairness, injustice. As I've said to you before, I believe unfairness is another way of saying it's not the way I want it to be. And I accept there may be things in your life was not the way you want it to be. But the evidence is, by you sitting here and listening to me, this is how awesome you are. This is how fantastic you are. You came through that. Why do you want to keep on circling back and going through it again? Why don't you keep on walking away from it? Walk away from that dysfunctionality or that dysfunctional person. Don't keep circling around through whatever you want to call it, anger, revenge, resentment, whatever you want to call it, injustice, unfairness. Accept it. Yes, it was unfair. They shouldn't have done it. But I got through it. They didn't hold me down. They couldn't stop you. They couldn't stop you. They tried their best and they still failed. Why do you want to keep circling back to it and walking through it again? I want you to walk the way of the Tao. I want you to walk your path. This is what Wu Wei wisdom means, this path. Your path's going to be very interesting, don't you worry. There's going to be lots of challenges, lots of life lessons, lots of fantastic things to you to learn in the future. Why do you want to keep on reversing back? It's like driving your car. Instead of looking out the window, you're looking in the rear view mirror. Look forward and get on with your life. And this is why when you get this straight, then you'll start choosing, because your filter will be clearer, better alternatives. You won't be choosing just because they're the same old familiar, poor me, poor me, poor me. They'll be more authentic me, awesome me, truthful me taking self-responsibility, me valuing and honoring my integrity, me having a good source of intention. All of the things we've been talking about on these videos, having a clear intention for your life. walking your path, not walking someone else's path.
And I think if we use that concept of, if we deeply understand karma for what it is, this cause and effect, and therefore our profound role in this equation, rather than expecting the universe or some sort of universal legacy to sort things out for us, if we actually realize the power is within us, we can start making conscious choices. Well, if I'm angry with this person, or if I seek revenge on this person, if I am mean-spirited about this, I now understand this will have this effect on me, not on them. So once we understand the equation in this way, rather than saying it's something abstract about past lives or a cosmic score sheet, then it comes back much more back to us.
Well, this is what I say. If you believe in any of this cosmic score sheet, as Alex saying, something like that, there's some think in the sky with a big balance book saying, oh, well, look, you've had a bad time there. Let me put it right. Oh, you've had a good time. Oh, let me get my arm back on this. Then you've got to sit down and think how that works. How does that work for you? How do you believe? You see, second word, we come back to belief. What do you believe? Why do you believe it? And that's really key to me, is what do you believe? Not what I believe. No, I'm not trying to change your belief. I'm trying to get you very comfortable to question your belief, to look at your belief, to write it down. This is what I believe. If you believe what Alex just says, there is a cosmic score sheet. Okay, how does that work? Who does that? Who's doing that? And how do they work it out? And what do you have to do to get it right? You see, it's all, to me, it's much clearer, much more Taoist to walk your path. And when something happens and you trip over, you know what? You get up as quick as you can, dust yourself off and carry on walking. Because that is what life is. It's life lessons. You learn your life lesson, and then the next time you see a hole, you don't walk into it, you just walk around it. And that's really what this life lesson series that we've been doing over nearly 100 videos is, to teach you that no one can stop you, only you. You are responsible. Self-responsibility is one of the greatest spiritual lessons that I can give to you. And to really look at yourself, look at your belief systems, see where they originate. And as I say again, I'm repeating myself, do you believe your belief system? Do you believe it? And then can you write it down? If you're in our Facebook community, I think Alex has got over 4,000 members now. Write down. Say, I believe in a cosmic score sheet and this is how it works. So we can all look at it and tell people your belief. And if you can't do that, then I would question whether that's your authentic, true spiritual belief.
And I think really, if we can bring the onus back onto ourselves, rather than expecting some magical super force power to sort things out, to right wrongs, then this is very empowering. Now, I want to just finally address a point that a lot of people get hung up on with this karma equation. If someone watches this video and says, oh my goodness, all this time I've been doing it wrong. All this time I've been angry. I've sought revenge. I've sought justice. I've sought to get my own back. I've just been viewing this karma equation wrong. Does this mean I've built up a massive karma legacy of problems for myself? How do I get rid of it?
Well, that's why it's very important. That's a great question, because that goes back to the definition of how you define karma. See, that's the key. Mm-hmm. So if you define karma as some kind of a storage system that has to, like,
of negativity or negative energy, and you have
to work it out, then that's what you need to sit down and work it out. I know you hate when I do this, but you can change like that. Yeah. Change your belief system, change your direction, choose another direction, leave all that behind you, leave that to someone else. Walk away from that cesspit, walk away from it, walk on another road, and then your life changes today. today. Or say, no, I think there is a backlog of negativity that I somehow have to work through. Then write in and tell me how you have to work through it. Who's keeping check? Who's keeping score? Who's the overlord? Who's looking at your balance sheet? Who's saying, oh, good boy, you've done well today. I can tick off 3 things today. Who's doing that? I don't think that anyone does that. I think and believe and teach and fundamentally believe in you. You can change your life today. Now, change your beliefs, change how you think, change your view, and you'll be amazed how quickly. Will you get it absolutely right from now on? Of course you won't. You'll slip back to an old way, but that's better for you to learn. Say, oh my goodness, I slipped back. Let me change again. Let me change again. And at the beginning, the first few weeks, you'll be changing every hour of every day. And then slowly the new way becomes your way, becomes authentic to you. It becomes the way that you are living. It represents who you are.
So what I've heard you say there, David, is really there is no karma legacy. The cause and effect is instantaneous in the moment. So we can change it instantaneously in the moment if we wish to change our thinking and our beliefs.
I've been working in this industry for 45 years. I've never found a karma bank that needs to be sorted out.
Yeah.
Because we all make mistakes. Every human being watching this has made a mistake. You cannot look in the camera and say, I've never made a mistake, David, because all human beings only learn by making mistakes. It's how you learn and how you get through those mistakes, what lesson you learn and how you move on. And that really is why this is such an important subject, just to kind of give you the life lesson. Sit down with a pen and paper and say, right, if you say, I think David's wrong on this one. I believe in karma. Then write down what you believe. How does it work? Who controls it? How does it work? How do you have to pay it back? Write it down in detail. If you're a member of our Facebook community, my goodness, you'll have 4,000 other members there who will be lovely to talk to you about this. We talk to you about it. How does this work? And this is what you've got to do. Have the kind of the authority in what you believe. Don't say, yeah, I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm going to carry on believing it. Stick out and be proud of what you believe and why you believe it. And then you'll see your life change. So that's the life lesson. Own your beliefs. Understand when you use words like karma, cause and effect. What do they actually mean? And then start living your life in that way that defines who you are.
And I really, really like, my biggest takeaway from this session, David, is that really the law of attraction is pretty much 100% down to you.
Absolutely.
100%. It's not down to some magical, mysterious force. No. It's very much a kind of self-empowering process that we can work with.
And I can loop back to the very first one. Yi Dao, Qi Dao. Yi, your intention. Not somebody else's intention, your intention. The flow of your intention is the flow of your energy. As you think, so shall it be. And that's the law of attraction.
Brilliant. Thank you, David. Well, I hope this video helped you. I will put a link to our other law of attraction videos on our video playlist for you. If you were interested in this video, please do comment below or share it with someone else who you think would be interested. And if you'd like to work with David one-to-one on any of the topics we talked about today, David works by video call with clients all over the world every week, and I will put a link below so you can learn more about David's sessions. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We produce new videos every week, and if you click the bell notifications button when you subscribe, you'll get a little email notification every time we publish a new video. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.